Really quickly, what is this from Founder?
In the Durin video. There is one character that gets so much from the Mona buffs that I'd say they're straight up like a whole ass tier, maybe even 2 below if you don't have Mona's C4. Let me introduce you to my favorite character, Mualani. Mualani is certainly a character of all time, and the Mona buffs are massive because there's actually a lot of teams where you do double Hydro Mualani using something like Candace, who's worthless, right? 40 damage percent at best isn't much. Just because having a second Hydro gives you Hydro Resonance, which is nice, but also more energy, so you burst every 2 rotations on Mualani instead of every 3 or 4. Having a Hydro character that generates particles, but that is also not worthless on the Mualani team, is a massive deal. On top of that, right, on top of the energy and the Hydro Resonance, you're also getting much easier swirl or crystallize setups if you use Shilonen by using a second Hydro, which allows you to not have to deal with the really cringe moments when you have to like do a charge attack and a normal attack on Mualani, so you get rid of the enemy's pyro, and then you can actually have Hydro so you can go swirl. In these double Hydro teams, that's gone entirely. Now you might be thinking, you might be seeing this and being like, Zajef, there's no healer here. There is a healer here. You don't see the healer, but it is there.
Oh my... What the fuck is this? No way I just got essayed by this 4-piece set, man. What? No way I'm getting essayed by this 4-piece set, man.
It is there. It is most definitely there. I think people often don't realize that the healing provided by Prototype Amber is not based on the holder's HP, it's based on the target's HP. What that means is that usually when you have Proto Amber on the team, on like a character like Sucrose or whatever, it doesn't tend to feel that impactful for healing because the characters you're healing don't have that much max HP, so they don't get healed by that much. Mualani is an HP scaler, and you're getting Hydro Resonance. So you do get a lot of max HP. On top of that, your support set options for Mona in this team suck ass, which means that unironically, her best set damage-wise is Song of Days Past. Because you have such bad uptime on Instructor in this team, you only get it on one of Mualani's hits, it's actually getting beat by Song of Days.
No fucking way. Wow. Instructor uptime issues. Now we're at Song of Days. What kind of meta are we in, boys? This is actually insane. What kind of meta are we in? What the fuck? Like a sheesh. Holy fuck.
Fast. And so this passes another 15 healing
Actual
bonus.
W.
Pair that with a healing bonus circlet, you now have 50 healing bonus, which means Proto Amber is healing you for 27% of
Holy
your
shit,
HP.
absolute cinema. Absolute cinema, boys. Actually, absolute cinema. When Genshin 6.2 comes out, I don't even know how many videos I'm going to try to make. But I want to test out all this juicy stuff. I think we need... I don't even know if the capybara can survive. That's low-key a problem. I feel like our damage ceiling is so high now that using the capybara as a fucking HP sponge might not work. Like, I'm gonna be on CCCon's account probably, so I can giga test out C6 everything. But yeah. Oh no, and Spearon, it's gonna be cinema for both Enfield and Genshin. That's gonna be my 2 main focus. I don't know if I'm gonna have time for CZN on stream, but it's gonna be juiced. It's gonna be juiced, man. Holy absolute cinema
on each character. And on a character like Mualani that has 4k HP, that's like 10k, and 10k is not bad. This enemy is Hydro immune, so you won't get to see the wow, oh my god damage numbers, but you will get to see the rotation. So the rotation that I came up with for this team was Mona skill, Maoika.
Wait, I love this layout. this layout for a fucking... Wait, this is so cool.
Burst skill, Mona Burst, 4 normal attacks.
Wait, this is so cool. I love this. I love the way I can see the
Sucrose,
time.
E, and 1 to make
What do you mean 3 chomps? Why does that need 5 fucking tiles, man?
sure you don't have Hydro on the enemy anymore. And then you do your 3 chomps. And when you have burst, you just burst instead of the 3rd chomp or the 2nd chomp, not on top of it, right? So you do
Wait, so is there a reason why you QE on Moika? Let me start from the
2
beginning.
chomps. This enemy is Hydro immune, so you won't get to see the wow, oh my god damage numbers, but you will get to see the rotation. So the rotation that I came up with for this team was Mona skill, Maoika, burst skill.
Zach, why the fuck is your Moika using the fucking fish claymore? I'm getting fucking slapped
Was Mona
in
skill,
animation.
Maoika.
What? It's so obvious. He's just joling all over, man. What the fuck is this?
Burst skill, Mona burst, 4 normal attacks, Sucrose, E, and 1 to make sure you don't have Hydro on the enemy anymore, and then you do your 3 chomps. And when you have burst, you just burst instead of the 3rd chomp or the 2nd chomp, not on top of it, right? So you do 2 chomps plus burst or 3 chomps. These rotations have full uptime on VV, full uptime on Mona buff, not full uptime on Sucrose's EM buff. It's 2 out of 3 hits, but it's still pretty close. They've got Cinder City. You're fixing basically all of the team building problems that Mualani has in a team like this. Right, if you've ever played Mualani with Shilonen, you might have noticed, oh, I can't use Shilonen's burst because it removes my Hydro and then I don't have Swirl. So I have to swap back to Mualani and then I proc Witsith, and now I've procced Witsith when I wasn't ready to start.
True, this was a big problem in my Stygian Onslaught runs. I remember this. I would have to reapply the fucking Hydro app so that Shilonen would be able to fucking you would both be able to get scroll buff and fucking scroll it off.
Doing damage, so it'll be on cooldown by the time I swap back to her. It feels really bad. With Mona, well, you can use Mona as your healer and you get it by default in your rotation from the Proto Amber. But even if you do something like Durin, Mona, Shilonen instead of Maoika, Mona, Sucrose, because you now have a Hydro character that can apply Hydro that isn't Mualani, you're not proccing your Witsith by accident anymore. You don't have to deal with the stupid ass Mualani charge attack animation.
Whoa.
Honestly, from what I've looked at for the calcs, this team is kind of really good. With Mona C4, I'm getting numbers on this team that are actually pretty similar to Maoika Melt. A little.
You cannot say that. That is not a legal thing that you can say. That is not legal to say that it's comparable to Moika Melt. That is the strongest DPS comp we have in the game at C0. What?
A little bit behind. Getting numbers on this team that are actually pretty similar to Maoika Melt. A little bit behind, but Mualani is a character that tends to scale with stat investment, right? So with artifact quality, better than pretty much anyone else, which means that I think there is an argument.
True. Right? And ideal Mualani is the same thing as like any other fucking quadra stat scaling character. Because a balance of HP, EM, crit rate, and crit damage are all very necessary. And it's hard. So that's why artifact quality is really important. Because you can always get that extra little bit of damage from that 4th perfect substat. Which a lot of characters don't have.
To be made that setting aside the insane like 7 melt combo bullshit with Maoika, like normal 4 melt Maoika stuff, there's an argument to be made that Mualani can be the best carry in a team like this. Again, keep in mind 2 things, right? 1, it's not out yet, so everything is still subject to change. And 2, I am fallible. I'm not perfect. I know it may be a surprise to some of you guys. I can make mistakes.
You shut your ass up.
So keep that in mind. And also, I guess thing number 3, as much as the numbers are good, you're still playing Mualani. You still have all the potential.
Yeah, I love playing Mualani, sending her fucking burst, and taking 5 business days to connect to the monster. Absolute cinema. When are they gonna fix that one?
gameplay issues that Mualani has. But the buffs to the Mualani teams with this are
No. What is this? No. No. You did not prepare this clip. Mualani sends her ult to Mongolia.
Must protect my clients. Check this out. Best of luck.
Did. Okay. Like it's stationary. Like the boss is not even moving. Like what? Oh my god.
really making Mualani as good as people that like Mualani think she is. Again, keep in mind, this is with C4 Mona. If you don't have C4 Mona, you lose 10k. If you don't have C2 Mona, you lose 5k. If you don't have C1 Mona, you lose another 5k. And at that point, Mona isn't even necessarily the best in slot for Mualani anymore. From what I've looked at, the teams that have a little bit less focus on Mona personal or on Mualani personal damage and a bit more on off-field damage using Durin, using Albedo, tend to slightly outperform the Mona teams if Mona is not high constellation. Honestly, the main takeaway from this video is that if you're a Mualani player and you don't have Mona's C4, take her from the selector, from every selector until you do. Because right now, Mona is, like, with these buffs, Mona is actually a good unit. For new players that don't have Mona, for the love of God, do not get baited into trying to get a standard character from the standard banner by spending your primos there.
Oh no. I was like, oh, that's fine. Until he said spending primos. And then I'm like, are there actually people who spend primo gems on the standard banner? My brothers. My brothers, you should only ever use the standard fates. Never use your primo gems, guys. Do not use your primo gems are only for limited banner and like maybe some stuff in the shop, okay? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a basic tip. Only use the fates.
That being said, if you have a Mona lying around, she very well might.
Chat, someone remind him when he swiped to pull every standard character in Wuthering Waves. Where's the video? Guys, it was a business expense. I'm gonna find the video. I'm gonna find the video. Where's the video? Guys! Business expense. 200,000 views. Business expense. I spent $1,000 on the standard banner. Business expense, guys. Okay? Business expense. Not something I would recommend. Not something I would recommend, guys.
Might be a worthwhile investment now. Getting her built, getting her burst to level 10. Now, if you have constellations, you don't need to level it past 10, right? If you have the C3, when you try to level it to level 11 or more, it stops increasing the damage bonus value, and it just increases the damage the bubble does, right? It caps at 60, so you don't need to level it any more than that. But getting yourself a Mona with burst talent level 10, getting yourself a Proto Ember for her, or I guess Fav or TTDS and some of the other teams, getting her ascended to Ascension 6 just for the energy because she gets ER Ascension, and there's a lot of teams where she's pretty ER hungry.
I think I need to watch this whole
Speaking of
section.
energy, one really nice thing about these Mualani teams is that, one, you have double Hydro, so you're getting additional sets of particles for Mona, and two, this rotation...
Let me scrap light up the blazing sun. Try and
This
stop
fucking
the
fish,
sickness
man.
upon you.
ends up on Mona when her skill explodes. So she actually gets to catch her own particles, which
What the fucking cinema is that?
she doesn't really get to do in any team currently. And by the way, you don't need main stats on Song of Days Past because main stats don't increase healing. The only thing that increases healing is your healing bonus, which is from the 2-piece and from your main stat on the circlet, but you can go off piece on that. And then all you care about is just having enough ER to burst every rotation, but that doesn't tend to be too hard. So it's not even like you need to go out of your way to farm a bunch of Song of Days Past. Like, get yourself either an ER Sands or a healing bonus circlet on Song of Days Past, and you're done. We can also go
Holy, really,
show what
chef?
happens to the auras for this team against an enemy that isn't Hydro. Anyways.
Actual really chef moment. Holy.
Decided by destiny. Ammo test 63. Let's ride. Surf's up. Let's shred, Sharky.
Alright, when you have your burst, you do this.
Woohoo! Let me scribe. Wrath from the skies. Try and stop. Fate is upon
And
you.
you just repeat that.
Wait, Founder, are you in chat right now? How close am I to needing the strong box? Probably really
My
soon.
Mualani is not currently geared, by the way, which is why the damage. Oh yeah, and by the way, right, like you saw that I got my burst back
You're
on
like
Mona, no
riding the
problem.
line at the
This is
moment.
156 ER Mona.
Okay.
I have a leveled healing bonus.
I'm not strong bossing Song of Days Past, but I was just curious because I do need another video to post for Genshin. I'm farming Talos and more, not artifacts. You're not at risk of pushing it super soon. Okay. I'm not
off-piece,
strong
and
bossing
then I have
bonus set,
plus
guys.
0, plus 4 pieces, and it's still enough energy. Oh yeah, so I'm not gonna do the N4 this time, so that I don't, because the N4 doesn't extend duration until the buffs happen.
Delve into pyroclastic surge. Written in the stars. Stand clear. Let's ride.
Right, and as you can see, we can get 500k there. Our buff fell off for that burst, but it was 600k. With the buff, it would have been much higher. But you'll get 3 of those at basically that number. Also, Pyro MC is not far behind
Sorry, what?
Mawika here. Also, Pyro MC is not far behind Mawika here. Pyro MC
This is some crazy fucking chef. This is some crazy chef work here, guys. Wow. Really?
has no personal damage, but just in terms of personal DPS on Mualani, Mualani actually does a bit more with Pyro MC, because the buff you get from Pyro MC is a bit lower than the buff you get from Mawika, but you get shorter rotations if you use Sack Pyro MC.
Let me scribe. Decided by destiny.
Okay, so... But surely he's including, like, Mawika's actual personal damage, right? Or does that not matter? Is it actually that much overshadowed by the rest of the kit? By the rest of the team? Because that's crazy.
Absorption test. Carving wave.
Mawika doesn't react anything? Oh, okay. So it's not like a big fucking ult nuke, like you would usually expect. Zam.
Oops. My sword didn't work. Whatever. Obviously, keep in mind, right, I didn't have Omen for a single one of my chomps here because we don't have the Omen buff yet, but you'll be able to make things work with Pyro MC, no problem, if you don't have Mawika. Now, those teams are below because Mawika does have personal damage in this team because you vape the burst, but they're not that much worse, and I think that's really nice for, you know, relatively newer players. Anyways, I've talked a lot about Mualani, almost to the point that this is Mualani witchcrafting more than Mona, but there's a reason for that. It's good. Other than Mualani, you can also...
Wait, I like how this section is about Mualani. Wait, I like how this entire... Wait a second. I just realized I started watching from here. Not here. I thought it... Ah.
Use Mona as the on-field driver for off-field carries. You can do it for Durin, although, like I mentioned earlier,
Oh,
quickly,
I see.
Durin's
Okay.
on-field teams tend to be a little bit better, but that isn't to say that the off-field Durin teams with driver Mona are bad. They're still pretty good. But you can also do it for other characters. You can do like quick swappy with Mona or Lakino. You can do off-field pyro-infused Yahoda with Inefa.
Yahoda!
Mona. You've got some cool options. I'll talk more about the Yahoda stuff in the Yahoda pre-release, so you can look forward to that as
Yup.
usual. If you don't want to miss it, you can subscribe. But yeah, as usual, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a thing or two.
W.
And I will see you guys in the next one.
W Zajvid. W. The GOAT TC or W Zajvid. Holy chat! Wait, how long have I been reacting? I just realized. How long have I been reacting, boys? I feel like I've been reacting for a while, but there's so much juicy shit coming, man. We went massive Wuwa 3.0 drip today. Okay, a massive 3.0 Wuwa drip today. Not subscribed. There's a sign in button here. Oh, you can't see it. Here, let me go over here. Oh, wait, my VTuber's there. All right, never mind. I am not signed in. If I click this, it will probably reveal some very interesting information about which account that I want to sign in. I probably don't want to show that. Yeah, I'm not on an account when I watch Incognito. That's all. Go ahead, we won't say. Pyro MC is not far behind movie. This is interesting, boy. This is juicy, man. Actually juicy.